my name is Rafal and I would like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Today I would like to talk about something different. This is one of the most requested questions I've been receiving, and a lot of people asking how I run my business, how I market myself, how I actually just get my clients. And I have to say it's not really easy answer, because those things, they really take a lot of time to develop. It's not overnight success. It takes many years of really hard work, and unfortunately there's no shortcuts in this industry. You have to go through specific process to become successful, and let's be honest, not many photographers can really, I would say, reach that level. They're like 100% successful, because business is kind of fluctuate, right? Like sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, but you have to be prepared for all those circumstances, and those things takes time and a lot of experience to learn how to deal with some of those stuff. Additionally, I also was reached out by someone who purchased one of those business marketing courses, which recently they're popping everywhere. There's some experts who have the secret recipe how to make six-figure income within the next few months. And I did a little bit of investigation into this, because at some point on my life, actually, I tried to see if those courses can help me. Unfortunately, it was a big, I would say, failure. Luckily, I didn't lost a lot of money on it, because I knew when to say no and stop this whole thing. But also at the end, I would like to show you what helped me to basically improve my business and learn something that give me some kind of clear path which direction I should go. But before we jump into that portion, as I said, did a little bit of investigation in those courses, because they are everywhere right now. And a lot of photographers who are starting off, they can get hooked on it and they can lose a lot of money, and they're not going to learn anything, and instead invest those, I would say, money into things which really can help them. They spend on some kind of scammers who pretty much just gonna rip them off, and they're not gonna teach them anything. So recently I did a little bit of investigation. I picked some of the most common ones. Of course, I didn't purchase them, but I tried to dig into them and kind of pull the strings as much as I could to see what they do and how they kind of present those offers, what they try to sell you, how they try to sell you, because that's something which is also extremely important. And we're gonna kind of discuss this. What's the alternative to actually just get this information from a little bit of different sources? So as you probably know, those market gurus, they're everywhere. YouTube, I think, is so flooded with them that sometimes it's just ridiculous that those people just coming at every video. Especially if you look for stuff related to business and marketing, then those advertisers, they're gonna just kind of keep popping up on your videos. And as I said, I tried to reach out to some of them, and the first thing what they do, they try to offer you something free just to kind of get you hooked, and they try to make you feel that they can really help you and they can solve all your issues when it comes to running a business and to be successful into the business. The next step, what they do, which is also kind of fascinating, they kind of try to push you to see some free tutorial, which is very limited. There's a limited amount of people, which is of course big bullshit, because basically what happens, those videos, they run 24/7. They basically just transfer you to specific link, and it looks like the next 15 minutes the video is gonna start, and you're gonna see this tutorial. So those tutorials, they give you some very basic informations. The way they put those things, they give you just a little bit of value, but also what they try to show you, which is also interesting, how successful you're gonna be. And this is definitely red flag, because seeing people in the hot tub drinking champagne and discussing how much money they make, this is not how you run the business. And even if you are successful, it's not something to kind of bragging about. Those are the people who just don't do the business this way. This is just kind of ridiculous, but they try to make you feel that you can be in their position. So the next step, what they try to do, which is also fascinating, they try to kind of get you on the call or kind of Zoom call where they can talk directly to you. And I actually went that path, and I try to talk to these people and see what they can offer and what they're gonna try to do and how they kind of like run this whole thing, which was kind of fascinating for me, especially people who are running this whole thing. They don't really know how to run the business, because the people I talked to, they were extremely young, around 20 years old or a little bit older in that kind of age, which that tells me that they don't really have much experience in the business. What they train to do is they train to pretty much sell you the course, and which is also fascinating. Those prices are simply ridiculous, because going through free tutorial to give you some basic free informations, they're going to some extreme prices. And the courses I looked at, they were between $6,000 and $15,000, which is a ridiculous amount of money for the stuff what they offer. And again, I talked to them, and they have really aggressive tactics that they try to kind of get you sign a contract or send the money right away. You really don't have a time to even think about it, because they say, well, if you're not going to sign it right now, the price is going to go up. So they have this very kind of scary tactics to get you kind of hooked on. But as soon as you start asking them specific questions about how they're going to help you, you know, what kind of program they have, how you're going to improve, they have nothing to offer, and they don't really want to give you any answers. Not to mention, none of those courses and none of those people who are supposed to training me in those courses, they have no experience in photography. So that should be another really red flag, that if you are looking for someone who's supposed to help you with your photography business, you have to talk to someone who actually is a photographer, someone who is actually successful, someone who went through all the process and know all those little details how to make this work. So 20 years old, a person who have no experience in business nor experience in photography is not going to help you much. So that should be the first red flag. And what was really actually interesting and sad at the end, that as soon as you start talking to them directly, they're going to be all over you, and they're not going to let it go till like you literally block these people, and you have to just pretty much cut off yourself from any type of communications, because they're gonna just keep sending you messages, emails, whatever it takes to get you kind of hooked on. They're not gonna let it go. So this is really sad. Another thing, and I'm sure some of you guys noticed, what they're trying to do is they try to get you kind of hooked on giving them your email, because they have direct connection with you, and they can just keep spamming you till you either block them or you just basically just tell them to F off, because it's really sad how they run this whole campaigns. So before you start even considering something like this, really do your investigations. I don't want to say that all of them they're scam, and I'm not saying that all of them they're bad, but I have to say that the ones which I tried, I'm not going to mention the names. I don't want to kind of cause any additional issues. Make sure that you are 100% sure and you have a lot of feedback from other people who took those courses to give you some kind of honest opinion how those specific courses help them to run the business. And you have to also notice that it's really hard to find any reviews on those courses. Typically they have them on their own websites, which means that they're not true. They just kind of made up just to make you feel that people who took them, they're happy. But if you try to go to any additional independent websites, you can't really find anything. So that's something which also is a huge red flag, that those courses, they're not really worth it. People kind of don't say anything. So that's something which also you have to think about it. So that's something where you have to really be careful, and before you spend that crazy amount of money, make sure you're investing the money in the right hands, and these people really can help you. So kind of get out of this for a second, and I just want to talk about some alternatives, because as I said, running a business, it's not easy, especially in photography industry. Those things, as I said, they take years. It's very hard. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of failures. It's a lot of bumps. and you have to be prepared for this. So this is not something that you bought the camera, you bought the lighting, you have some basic concept how to run the business, you're going to be successful within months. You might, but this is really rare occasions that someone can really quickly become successful industry. In my case, it took me over 20 years of really hard work to get to where I am right now. And still, I have months where I have good months, I have bad months. There's some moments which I'm kind of giving up as well because it's hard. So it's a kind of ongoing process to learn things. And it's something that you have to be prepared for, and you have to kind of understand this entire industry. You have to understand people, and you have to understand how this industry works and how you can make a living. Not to mention that the industry itself is constantly changing, and there's a lot of things coming out which you have to adopt, you have to learn, you have to adjust yourself. So it's really hard to kind of maneuver this whole thing. And again, I could go on and on about it, but the one thing and the one message what I want to send is the fact that those things takes a lot of time, a lot of work, and you have to be prepared that it's going to take you many years to become successful. But let me kind of show you some stuff which helped me and what you can do to really change your mentality about your business and how to have clear path how to become successful. And as you guys probably know, I'm a huge fan of reading books, and you can get a lot of amazing books for extremely cheap, and those books can really expand your way of thinking, or they can really change the way you do the business and give you some kind of direction in where you want to go and how successful you want to be and how basically run photography business. So I'm going to show you a few books. I have tons of them, but I want to show you the ones which really changed the course of my business. And I'm not going to talk about them in detail because that would take me probably hours and hours, and still probably with my language I wouldn't be able to explain you everything. But I just want to show you something which definitely helped me, definitely allowed me to expand my business, and this also helped me to basically grow. So that's something which is extremely important. So before I show you, I just want to say one more thing. Those books, I'm not saying they're cheap, but they're way more affordable. And for fraction of those courses, which probably would teach you exactly the same thing, because those books are written by experts and they really put thought into it, you can get some amazing source of information which is gonna help. So the first book I would like to recommend you is called I'm not gonna say Yourself. It's an amazing book. This book kind of helps you to change your mentality about doing business, how to change your even mentality to approaching this whole thing. Because a lot of us, we're kind of stuck with all sorts of different excuses, all sorts of different ideas that we're not going to be capable of doing. So these books kind of give you a little bit of kind of different sense about how to deal with yourself and how to approach things and how to deal with all those challenges we're gonna have ahead of us doing any business. Highly recommend it. Check it out. It's really kind of easy read, and definitely change the way you see the world and the way you actually gonna do the business and how you're gonna run your business. The next couple books which I want to recommend, and this is like in my Bible, is the books by Seth Godin. One of them is called The Practice. Really good. It's about basically, I'm not going to go into details. It's about creating artistic work, and photography, of course, is artistic, and how we can deal with all this artistic process in our life, and how we can kind of showcase this artistic, creative part of our life to the world. Amazing book. I highly recommend it. Check it out. It's really good. Again, changes and shifts your mind to completely different direction, and it's going to help you with seeing the kind of your creative side of yourself completely different way and completely different perspective. The next thing I want to show you, again, Seth Godin. This is marketing. Amazing book. It's not going to give you clear recipe how to do the business, but definitely going to show you how to approach business, how business works, how marketing works. And especially this book, what I really like about it, it's not kind of stuck in like different era, which some of those books have kind of informations which they really not helpful, because they were written in kind of completely different era, and those things don't work anymore. So this book definitely is going to help you to look at the marketing from 21st century and how this whole thing works today. So that's something which is extremely important. The next book I want to show you by Donald Miller. It's Building a Story Brand. Amazing book, read a couple times, and that basically book allows you to create brand of your business. Amazing stuff. I could go on and on about it. Highly recommend it. Help you with your business big time. And then I'm not saying it's like my Bible, but what I want to say is definitely going to give you clear path on how to build the brand of your company. The next book, I have a couple more, is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. This is a book about negotiations, how to interact with people, how to deal with people, how to do the business. Really amazing book. This guy is a former FBI hostage negotiator. Some amazing tips, especially I found in headshot photography. You have to know how to deal with people, how to negotiate stuff with them, and you're going to work with individuals, you're going to work with companies. That book really help you to learn how to negotiate anything. And we're negotiating things on daily basis, and this book just gives you completely different perspective how to negotiate things with even with your family members, and it's really cool. Highly recommend it. Check it out. I'm sure it's going to definitely help you with your business. And the last book, which I also highly recommend, is by Russell Brunson, Dot-Com Secrets. I don't know, I'm sure this book also popping up everywhere, and I was kind of skeptic about it, but I went through it, and this book helped me big time when it comes to doing business on social media, on doing business online. Gives you, again, there's no clear kind of recipe, do this, do that, but gives you this kind of overall perspective, how to approach business on internet and how to reach out to clients, how to get them, how to approach them, how to talk to them. It's really good. I really highly recommend it. It helped me tremendously, and every book which I recommended take my business to another level, and this is something extremely important, and that's why I highly recommend it to instead taking those expensive business courses by some YouTubers who have no idea, or they just kind of advertising on YouTube and they don't have no really experience doing the business. Jump into people who actually they've done something, they experts in specific, I would say, areas. They write amazing books, and those books, they're gonna bring you some new flavor to your business, and they're going to definitely help you to expand your business, to look at the business completely different perspective, and basically grow your business, because that's our goal. And as I said, there are cheapest way to get the knowledge, and it just takes a lot of work on your end, because you have to go through those books, you have to read them, you have to analyze them, you have to pull out all those informations which are important, and at the same time you have to implement them into your business, because this is how your business is going to change, and it's how it's going to grow. So that's something which I would highly recommend it if you're planning to do business in this industry. Instead, as I said, taking expensive courses, invest this money in books, because those books, they're gonna definitely help you to get better at the business you're running. So I hope that was interesting. It was extremely long. I'm really sorry, but I just want to share those stuff with you. I hope that helps you. If you have anything else, please add those stuff into comments. Would love to hear from you guys. I have a list on another, I would say, 50 books which I would like to share with you, but I'm not gonna go for that today. We're gonna go another time. But those books which I showed you, they actually tremendously helped me, and that's why I want to kind of start with them, because those books really helped me, and I hope they're going to help you. So if you have a chance, get on them, purchase them, and then you just kind of go for them as quick as you can, and you will see your vision and everything what you do about your business is gonna just change dramatically, and it's gonna help you tremendously. So again, thank you for watching. I hope that was interesting. Stay tuned. I'll chat with you guys very soon. Bye bye.